Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Fang, just Fang, back with another Fang Justice video. And today is going to be an interesting video. I don't think it'll be too long, unless I yap a lot, but it's an important video that I think I should be telling the masses as someone with a little bit of influence in the Pirate101 community. So recently, I think on my last main video, my last video, I talked about how they are recreating Krakatopia, in Pirate101, and how they're gonna have new assets and completely different from like Wizard 101 stuff. But there's not gonna be a Skyway, and it just seemed kind of confusing why they couldn't make a Skyway for it. And this was posted a little while ago. I've been kind of sitting on it, thinking about it, and I want to post about it because I have thoughts on it. So. Wiki 101, I saw this from the Atmoplex's page because the Atmoplex actually reposted it. Love the Atmoplex, thank you. Posted that Rapbeard, so like the big guy for Wiz and Pirate, confirmed that KingsIsle is currently redeveloping an HD revamp of Krakatopia. And that made me wonder, and I don't think anyone really said this in any of the comments. Maybe they did. I didn't look through all of them, but a lot of them were like, oh, that's going to be cool, blah, blah, blah. This means that Pirate 101 as a whole is just getting those breadcrumbs from the development of Wiz. I had under the impression that, they're gonna be developing a completely new thing with like original assets and like completely different story. Well, maybe there'd still be a different story, but like, you know what I mean? Completely different from Wiz, but it seems like all they're doing is they're gonna revamp Krakatopia and Wiz, and then they're just going to take those assets and paste them into Pirate. And I hate that. It makes me feel absolutely like this game is just like, it just deserves the scraps of Wiz. I get it. They don't have the money to, put a whole team on that, and maybe this is the most efficient way to do it, but I would have loved to see them take these revamped assets that they're going to use for Wiz and then expand upon it in Pirate and do that Skyway. Now I know exactly why they aren't doing the Skyway, because they have it already set up for Wiz, which doesn't have Skyways, obviously, so they don't even want to put, like, a little bit more effort into that and making it just a little bit more like Pirate. So, Tartarus was great, but you could tell how it was made specifically for Wizard, and it was just kind of like this tight-knit, like, weird, like, dungeon with not that much, like, room to move. It just kind of felt weird to me. Maybe that's just me. But I really hope that Croc doesn't give the same vibes, and it looks like it's going to, because Wizard 101 doesn't have that exploration feature. You're just walking through places, basically. And they're not going to do that for Croc. And I thought, maybe they're going to, make this down the line, they're gonna, add a Skyway. I don't know if that's even true now, because it looks like they're just gonna rip the assets from Wiz and then port them and then make like a little thingy for the max players, so then they'll stay content and buy the next whatever pack or whatever. But it just makes me sad, and I love complaining, but I also hate complaining, because I love complaining for one, because I feel like I can really say what I want to say. And, I'm part of the extra credits program, and I love what they do with everything except for this, just taken from Wiz and just not putting that, like, Pirate pizzazz on it. I want to see that. If this update blows me out of the water and the storytelling is amazing, just like Tartarus was really great storytelling, and even, like, Sinbad Part 3 was also really, really good. If they do that, then yeah, perfect. But if it's just a rip, and then there's just, like, some extra, like, they're this enemy, and they are a musketeer because blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna really find that that's enough effort to keep me happy, because this is the next big update. And, I say big in quotation marks because, no, it's not gonna be big. It's gonna be in between. It's gonna be smaller than Tartarus. So, like, what is it gonna be? Like a little dungeon? Like a little baby dungeon? Like, I never understood Tartarus's, like, weird area system where there's like 17 areas, or I think like 24 areas for no reason. I think they could have just made it a dungeon, but they didn't want to tell us, this is just a dungeon length. They're like, no, you can teleport wherever and pretend it's a new world kind of thing. No, it's a dungeon length, and this is going to be even smaller than that, which really sucks. Now, does this look good? Well, this is a really low quality photo, but it looks good. I think it will look nice, but it will look nice, and then it will just be ported to Pirate, so it looks slightly worse because the engine's just older, I think. Because unless they are still using their original Wiz, but I'm sure that's way more optimized than Pirate. I think they've said this in the past. But it's just gonna look slightly worse and slightly off. I feel like Tartarus kind of looked a little bit off. Not really the Pirate 101 style. Like when you're in Aquila and you're talking to, you know, what's his face? Oh man, Orpheus, and that's great. And then once you go to Tartarus, you're like, wait a minute, we're not in Pirate 101 anymore. I don't know. Probably just my own opinion, but I genuinely want to hear from you guys what you think. That this is just... I thought that they were actually just going out and being like, yes, for Pirate, we are going to make this, and it's going to be original, it's going to be different from Wiz. But no, it's just going to be, hey, we're already revamping Wizard 101's Krakatopia, so why not just throw it into Pirate as well? It just kind of feels like, this isn't the Krakatopia we want. It's the Krakatopia that they have to give us because they don't have enough, you know, people in there. And again, I'll say this a million times, I agree with them with the front funnel thing. If you haven't watched my last video, front funnel is what they're focusing on, you know, getting more players to play. They aren't doing anything for that. They kind of changed up the first quest to make it actually shorter, so then you have less time to play during the free part. I don't agree with that, to be honest. I think they need to change it and add some different content, blah, 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 you know. I think they need to increase that front funnel, but then you also need to... The people that are making... I get that you're going to make money with memberships, but we're spending money being late game players, trying to, you know, I guess sometimes reroll the chests and, you know, buying the newest pack if it's meta gear, you know. And especially like PvPers, I'm sure they do some crazy stuff with crowns, but hear me out. You gotta put some effort into that, and then you also need to say, hey, we are increasing that front funnel, so we're actually gonna do something with that, which means increasing that membership. I'm gonna keep saying that a million times every single video. Make that membership paywall further back, so then they can get more stuff. You can, you know, get a new ship, you can promote your companions. Those aren't in the free part yet, and, you know, it'd be so good to see that, and it's bad. And I think just seeing, like, knowing just like this extra little bit more, it's disappointing because the game could go in a different direction, and I know obviously the resources don't allow for that. I mean, they're trying to make do with what they are doing, so I understand that. But also, if you're gonna do something, you can also change up the stuff that doesn't take that much, like pushing back that paywall. If you wanna start making money, you gotta start changing some things. And, you know, hopefully in that next update with Krakatopia, we do see a change in that front funnel, and we can actually be like, oh wait, this is actually good for new players and to get players in. Now, do I think that will actually work in practice? No, I don't. Genuinely, I don't know if people would actually come to Pirate if there's a slightly different quest line at the start. I don't think that's true. I think either make the first whole world free at that point, so then you have like a marketing strategy, kind of like what Wizard did with Wizard City and Krakatopia for free, or even that first arc free. Obviously, there's only one arc in Pirate, technically two with this new update things, but whatever. But I think that, you know, you need to do something that can advertise, and new Krakatopia ripped from Wizard 101 doesn't have a good feel to it. You know, new Krakatopia does, so then the Wizard players would be like, oh shoot, this is like an upgrade of Zigzag. It looks even better than that. Let's go to Pirate and check that out. They're not going to do that if it's just ripped assets from Wiz. It's like, oh, it's just a dungeon I've already played, but in Pirate, huh? I'm not going to play that. Like, I don't know if there's any Wiz players that played Tartarus. Maybe they did. I'm sure some Wizard players did, but like no one came from Wizard to actually play it. Like, oh, I've never played Pirate before. Let me play Tartarus in Pirate 101 because I played Tartarus and Wizard 101. I don't know. I don't see that actually working. But I see two options, you know, making those big changes to then advertise to like Wiz players especially to get more people to play that, or that front funnel, but actually doing something where it's advertised worthy, where it's like, yes, we've expanded the paywall to blah, 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 and it's great, and you can do so many more things in Pirate for free. And that will draw in more players, and they'll be like, oh shoot, this game's actually really fun. And I love this game. I love Pirate 101 so much. But when I see them do stuff like this, like, oh, that's actually, sorry, there was volume on. When I see them ripping stuff and like maybe I'm completely wrong, and they're just doing this on the side, and then Krakatopia in Pirate 101 is gonna look completely different. That's fair. That's my fault. I made connections when I shouldn't have, but I'm almost 200% sure, knowing King Zizal, they will literally just rip it and give it to Pirate, and they'll say that's good enough. And sure, we'll be content with it, but it should be more than good enough. Like, this should not be a standard that we should, keep. It's just bad. And I have yapped for 10.5 minutes so far. I'm sorry for anyone who's still watching. If anyone's still watching, let me know what you think, and send a crocodile emoji in the comments. I want to see if anyone's watching to this point. And yeah, 100% let me know what you think. It looks great, but the problem is I just don't... It's just not a great practice that we should not be, like, supporting where they're just ripping stuff. So, yeah, that's it. I don't really know what my next video is going to be. I still got the Pirate 101 iceberg video in the works. That one's taken a long time. The script's almost done, which will be nice. So look out for that. And yeah, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.